the Motion Picture Notion. I'm your host, Gabriel Burton, and I wanted to pick up where I left off with the last episode and talk about Supernatural seasons 6 through, what the hell are we on now, 11? Yeah, 11. Supernatural season 6, alright? Sam and Dean have stopped the fucking apocalypse. Dean is living with Lisa, and it looks like he might actually settle down and be happy. Okay, boom, Sam comes back into his life. Season 6 was actually, especially in retrospect, a lot better than some of the latter seasons. I remember really hating it, especially upon first viewing it, because I didn't know what was going on, and I see Sam and he's acting totally weird, and I'm like, what, did they get different writers? Like, he's completely out of character. Turns out, Sam has lost his soul. So, that's why he is a dick. Props to Jared Padalecki as an actor, because, damn. Season 6 was really disjointed, and that's probably a direct result of the fact that, you know, this follows the apocalypse. Like, how do you top that? Like, Sam and Dean have beaten the devil. Where do you go from here? The main bad guy, who was Eve, the mother of all, they just pulled it out their ass, you know? And don't get me wrong, Season 6 had some really good, like, outstanding episodes. The French Connection, where Sam and Dean come to our world. They're on the set of Supernatural, which is filmed in Canada, and they're like, what the hell? Like, that was a brilliant episode. There was Weekend at Bobby's, which was an episode just about Bobby. That was really good. There was an episode where they go back in time and they meet Samuel Colt. But overall, it was very apparent that they had, like, no idea where to go with the show. And I also don't like that at the end they make Castiel a dick. I understand that it's very short-lived, but still, it's like, dude, we've only known this guy for 2 seasons and he's such an awesome character. It's like, why you gotta fuck with that, bro? Why you gotta fuck with that? Moving on, season 7. So this was the season with the, what the fuck were those guys called? The Leviathans, yes. They were kind of a lame enemy, I thought. Overall, season 7 was actually more linear than season 6, but one plot hole happens in season 7. And it starts out as a little thing that I could forgive, and gradually as the show goes on and on and on, it gets worse and worse. When Sam remembers his experience in hell, he remembers being tortured by the devil, he starts having hallucinations that the devil is there with him. And it is the actor who played the devil in season 5. That dude was awesome as the devil, but it does kind of bring up the question, it's like, the devil wouldn't look like him in hell. That was just his vessel, and that wasn't even like a permanent vessel. That was a vessel that was literally getting ripped apart by the devil's presence. Season 7 like kind of laid the groundwork for some shitty things that happened later on. Season 8. I'm here to tell you right now, Season 8 and 9 are my 2 least favorite seasons of the show by far. Season 9 is the absolute worst. I almost gave up on the show because of it, but we'll get to that. Now, at the finale of Season 7, okay, Dean is in purgatory, and you see this, like, vast, dark forest, and there's all these, like, freaky sounds, and you see, like, glowing eyes and, like, weird inhuman shapes moving around, and I'm like, yes, they are upping the stakes. Dean is going to be in this, like, hellish nightmare world, and we're going to see every glorious part of it next season. No, we didn't. First of all, they completely changed the look of Purgatory. It was all shot during the day in some woods. It was sort of like a sepia, almost kind of a fucking thing that they did for effect. And Purgatory is supposed to be where all the monsters go, all the vampires and the werewolves and shit. And you know something? We see Leviathans even in Purgatory. Hey, guess what? They're in their vessels. They establish in Season 3, okay, when Dean is getting closer and closer to the Hellhound coming for him, he starts seeing Ruby for who she is. He looks at her and he's like, ugh. Demons are like mutations. They're like abominations. And I just sort of feel that they like threw all that out the window, probably for budget, but still, it's like, if you were going to do something like that, don't half-ass it. Season 8 also brought up something. It didn't, like, really turn me off to the show, but it started to get on my nerves, and that was Sam and Dean's incessant bitching. I can't trust you, Dean. Well, I can't trust you either, Sammy. It's like, dude, guys, you've been on the road for more than 8 years. You stopped the goddamn apocalypse. You sent the devil back to hell. Why are you bickering like a couple of old fucking women? It's like, these are hardened motherfuckers. It's like they would just accept the fucking fact that they can't trust each other. They would either go their separate ways, or they would just be like, fuck it, I can't trust him, whatever. At any rate, Season 9 shows up, and I'm here to tell you that Season 9, I despise Season 9 of Supernatural. It's not even that, like, I don't like it. I fucking hate Supernatural Season 9. It started off a little better. It looked like maybe they were gonna like do some things right, like they had a lot of good filler episodes and they brought back like the rock, you know, the classic rock soundtrack. But there was one thing, okay? There was an angel who was sharing Sam's body with him, basically like slowly repairing him, you know, from death. Sam did not know about this. Sam was ready to die, and Dean tricked this whole thing into happening so that the angel could slowly revive Sam. And I'm like, Sam's gonna find out about that. And when he does, it's gonna be like a shitstorm of, I can't trust you. Sure as shit, Sam finds out. And I can't trust you, Dean. So yeah, that whole thing happens. And I gave it a couple episodes. I'm like, okay, maybe they'll just whine a little bit and then they'll get back on track. Oh, hey, dude. There's an episode with the Ghostfacers. Fuck yes! I haven't seen the Ghostfacers since fucking season 4. The Ghostfacers are basically supposed to be a spoof on like all those, you know, the ghost hunters who go out there with the camera and is like, wow, I'm getting some cold, you know, a cold spot right here. Well, you know, you're near a refrigerator, asshole. But anyways, I'm like, this is gonna be great. It's gonna be a lighthearted episode. It's gonna take us away from all this drama. Nope. Turns out the plot of the episode was that the Ghostfacers apparently can't trust one another either. And the problems that they were going through directly mirrored the problems that Sam and Dean were going through. It was awful. It was awful. And at that moment, I was like, I'm done. I'm done. I am fucking done with this show. And I was deadly, deadly, deadly serious. But my friend, who I actually got into Supernatural, he continued watching it. And that son of a bitch said, hey, you know what? You should check out the season finale because I think that you'd like it. And I'm like, alright, fine. So I sat down and I watched it, and then I'm like, Dean's a demon? Just like that, I was back in the game. I'm like, okay. And, you know, not gonna lie, season 10, I think that they actually got some, like, negative feedback about their previous 2 seasons because they really cleaned up their act. They started going with like themes that were starting to get bigger than Lucifer and the Apocalypse. They had some really good single episodes. Actually, the one with the School for Girls who put on the production of Carver Edlund's plays. They mentioned Carver Edlund. When was the last time you heard that? You know, Chuck. You see Chuck, you find out he's still alive, that's fucking awesome, you're like, you know they're going to do something with him later. And they really started building towards something, and at the end, Dean kills Death, which on one end of the spectrum I was sort of like, wow, that's epic, and on the other end of the spectrum I'm like, Dean, you dick! He's helped you guys out like so many fucking times, and you're gonna fucking kill him. It's beyond the point where like, you know, you fucked everything up trying to stop the apocalypse. It's like, no, now you guys are just selfish assholes and like you're fucking up the universe because you can. But anyways, you know, season 10 ends and like this huge like black cloud of smoke comes and engulfs the Impala, and you know that the darkness has come. You don't know what the darkness is, but you're like, shit, that sounds like an evil sibling of God. And of course, go figure, you know, you get to season 11 and it's not that epic. The dust has settled and the world looks normal. But we now know that the darkness is upon us. Turns out the darkness is God's sister. Okay, here we go. Now we're getting into bigger territory. There are an assload of plot holes in season 11 that really kind of bother me. There are these little relics that were left over that literally have the power of God inside of them. And I'm sort of like, if Crowley really knew where all these hands of God were, don't you fucking think they would have used it back during the apocalypse to just kill Satan? Okay, problem solved. End of story. That's all she wrote. No, but not really. So that kind of bothered me. But other than that, it's like, it was sort of building towards something. When they went to hell to find Lucifer, even though it's a plot hole that Michael wasn't there with him, it was still cool to see him again. So they raise the stakes, the devil's out again, and then friggin' Chuck is God. We met God in season fucking 4 and we didn't even know it. That was really cool. And that episode where he was revealed as God and Metatron is trying to fucking talk to him and tell him like, no, we need you. And he sings that song. That dude has an amazing singing voice, by the way. But like, I was watching it and I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, was that an actual, like, great episode of Supernatural? I feel like I haven't seen one in such a long time. I feel like the ending was like a little bit underwhelming to season 11, but it was literally light and dark coming together, balance in the universe, all's right with the world. and then they leave off for a season 12. CW. I love Supernatural. I do. But it has run its course. Please, let it die with dignity. Let it die. And that is all she wrote.